Street Fighter 6. There's so much room to talk about when it comes to potential newcomers, or, well, veterans, obviously. There's so many characters that are not in the game that should definitely be there, but this isn't that type of video. No, instead, this is my wish list, characters I'd like to see, and I'd like to throw in some oddballs here and there. With that being said, the only rule is one character per mainline entry. So we'll be covering one character from Street Fighter 1, Alpha, 2, 3, 4, and 5. With that all being said, let's get started. Street Fighter 1 has many characters that haven't returned yet, but in all honesty, I just want the one cool guy, being Eagle. I mean, come on, he's so sick looking. I mean, yeah, sure, Sagat will most likely return, actually, definitely, but Eagle is cool. We haven't seen him in the game since Alpha. Oh my goodness, we gotta get him back. Wait, and this was the Alpha game that was exclusive to the PSP. Oh, we definitely gotta get him back. I mean, come on, he's been missing from the game for so long. So let's see this elegant man return for Street Fighter 6. And while we're at it, let's just bring back Dudley with him. Although, Dudley wasn't the character I was going to discuss for this video, but hey, I mentioned him now, so what the heck. Now, as for the Street Fighter Alpha series, there's many characters to choose from. But for me, I'm also going to choose a character that was exclusive to Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, and that is Maki. Now, yeah, sure, we already have Kimberly, but come on, more ninjas wouldn't hurt, wouldn't it? And besides, she was the character I played a lot during the Alpha series. Although I will say, it is super upsetting that this game has never been ported outside of the PSP. It is easily the best version of Street Fighter 3 Alpha, and prior to Street Fighter 6, I'd argue it's the best Street Fighter game we've ever gotten. But hey, maybe that's just me. But moving on to 2, I'm sure there are many characters you'd be interested in me talking about, like M. Bison and how they plan on resurrecting him, it seems. Maybe the 3 Kings. Oh, well, I already mentioned Sagat earlier, but no, we're not talking about Balrog or Vega or any of them. No, instead we're going to be talking about Violent Ken. Now, yeah, sure, he was only an Ultra Street Fighter 2, but it still counts. And so, with how Ken's life been in Street Fighter 6, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity to bring back Violent Ken. I don't think they're going to bring back Evil Ryu, especially since Ryu finally found his inner peace. He's no longer haunted by the Satsuyo no Hado, and so, with the potential of Shadowlu's return with Fang and his whole plan, it would be a perfect opportunity to bring back Ken. I mean, come on, his life can't get any worse now, can it? And maybe this Violent Ken arc could be the one-way trip to him finally getting back his life together. But moving on to Street Fighter 3, there's 2 characters I could think of, being Alex and Sean. And Sean would be great to see his growth post 3, maybe he learned some moves from his sister, I don't know. But for me, I'm choosing Alex on this one. Because, well, he was also my main in Street Fighter 5 and 3. I just love playing the guy. He's cool looking, he's a grappler, which if I think about it is not a good point to use for him, since I know many people don't like grapplers. But hey, Alex is cool looking now, isn't he? He's not horrid like Abigail, although Abigail wasn't even a grappler. Look, point being, I want to see Alex return. And Street Fighter characters from 3 in general should be in this game. Why are there no Street Fighter 3 characters? There better be someone else at Evo. I'm telling you, Capcom, you can't fumble this. As for Street Fighter 4, I'd love to see El Fuerte back. He's just a goofy guy. And while yeah, sure, he was obnoxious to play against, at least based on what I've seen in tournament play, I don't care. I just want to see him in the game again. He's such a fun character, so lively, ain't he? And I'd love to see him return. Maybe he's just looking for more cooking recipes, more ingredients, and he's just searching the world for this sort of stuff. Maybe he can even train us in his cooking ways, although maybe it's a little too violent for some customers. That being said though, El Fuerte is a character I desperately want to see return. He was one of the characters that got me interested in buying Street Fighter 4 after all, but I can understand not everyone agrees with me on this one. What about Abel? Well, you see, I already covered Abel in the previous video. And so if you want to know my thoughts on Abel and how he's actually the character I really want to see return, truthfully, I already discussed it there. I just didn't want to repeat any talking points. Which leaves us with Street Fighter 5. Now look, the obvious one is G, okay? I want G back. That's pretty obvious, a lot of people want G back. He's just so cool, ain't he? But on top of that, I really want to know his connection with Q. After all, we've had this huge mystery on who Q is, and with G and Q sharing very similar looking normals, with Q having basically botched versions of these, it'd be really cool to see what G is up to in Street Fighter 6. After all, they did dub him a villain. Maybe there's just something super sinister about him that we have yet to explore. Street Fighter 6 has so far been focusing on Shadowloo and the aftermath of that with JP, but who knows, we got Street Fighter 3 with the Illuminati and maybe a new antagonist rising with G. It'd be very interesting to see what this guy's truly capable of. Although, if there's any other character I'd like to give a special shout out to, it's Nakali. After all, I'm a big fan of bringing back unpopular characters. Now, I don't know how they bring him back. Maybe he's just an experiment that this new Shadowloo that Fang's cooking up does, in which they're trying to recreate bodies off of nothing in order to give M. Bison a brand new body without needing a host. I think that'd be an interesting story to tell, and how he'd become a failure of an experiment, which has led him to his fighting style and how he plays in Street Fighter 6, while also giving a decent explanation as to why he'd even be in the game in the first place, whereas 5 was just, he was a mythical warrior who wanted darkness or whatever, and he lost to Ryu, and he vanished, and that he was so lame. So come on, make him not lame. How are you gonna waste such a cool character design? Man! Okay, let me not get too frustrated. Let's just end off the video, shall we? Please, tell me what characters you would love to see in Street Fighter 6. Like I said, for me personally, it is absolutely a crime that there's no Street Fighter 3 characters in this game. I'd love to see these guys return in some big way, especially since we haven't seen a lot of them in so long. So again, I'll leave all that to discuss in the comments below. Please, let me know what you think. I always read every comment, and will try to respond to every comment as I can. So, hey, give it a shot. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please, take care of yourselves, and have a great day. Peace!
So make your choice right. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.